Our people mean everything, and what is great about working here is the diversity and individuality of all our employees. It's paramount, therefore, that we support every individual and any issues that they're going through to ensure that work is just one last thing they need to think about.
Staff are our biggest asset, and it's critical that we look after their interests and also the interests of the business. We need to sort of understand the issues that staff might be facing and know how to deal with those, and where we can get assistance to help people when needed.
Well, I think it's really important that employers pay just heed to people with physical health and mental health issues. And it's for the same reason that we look at all diversity. We have to get the best out of our workforce, and 1 in 3 of us will have mental health problems at some time in our lives. And it's a good economic argument to say, if you look after people, then all the investment you've made will come back, because people will be able to work for employers in a meaningful way.
Right from the start, Mindful Employer has been different. Someone with a mental health condition may have support for themselves, but who's there to support their employer? Mindful Employer provides employers with easier access to information and support, and it's the way that we've gone about it that's been different. It's completely voluntary, and that's part of the reason for its success. Employers have chosen to do this, chosen to make a deliberate effort to support mental well-being. Mindful Employer is countercultural. It goes against the grain of many workplaces and all their targets, reorganisations and pressures. It's not about awards or accreditations or quality standards. But it does take time. We're talking generational change here. Quick wins often result in slow losses. And Mindful Employer is about making a genuine long-term investment and commitment into the business and its staff. And it makes financial sense too. Whether you're a charter signatory or not, being a Mindful Employer demonstrates that the workplace is somewhere where people can talk about mental health more easily. And that's where things are changing. And this film tells something of the story of Mindful Employer and the difference it's made.
One night, in the middle of the night, I woke up and I didn't feel at all well, and I went into the bathroom and I fell on the floor. I banged my head, cut my head, and then I found myself in the lounge, and I had what I learnt to be was a panic attack. I was talking to my wife, I was confused, I didn't know what was happening, and it was very scary. And my wife called an ambulance, they came and checked me over, and then I went to see my GP.
At the beginning, I think I was quite optimistic about returning to work, but then became very anxious about the future and whether I would be able to return to work or not.
Whereas in every other part of my life I could bend my life to fit around my symptoms, I couldn't do that at work, so that's kind of where I got found out and had to face the issue when I triggered on a sickness report, and that's what brought everything to a head and caused me to go and get the support that I needed.
I was in the office and I started to feel a bit odd, and I couldn't focus and think clearly, and my colleagues were a bit concerned about me, so I went home early, and then driving to work the next day I started to feel very strange again. I couldn't think clearly. I started to feel a bit panicky again, so I pulled my car over, spoke to my manager, and my manager advised that I shouldn't come to work and I should go direct to see my GP, which I duly did. I remember being quite emotional, particularly sort of to acts of kindness and people saying they were very shocked that it happened to me. In terms of work, I was concerned about what people would think. I was anxious about what colleagues and managers would think, and could I do my job, and is that the end of me in this organisation, and so on. But I also knew I had a supportive employer, and I think that helped a lot. So I figured there was probably a way we could work through this.
A lot of uncertainty in terms of what the future was going to look like. whether I'd be able to go back to my current job that I'd become unwell in, and a lot of anxiety as well, really, because I wasn't sure whether I'd be able to cope with returning to work, what the future was going to look like, whether I was going to be able to manage financially as well. So an awful lot of uncertainty and anxiety, and I think I also lost my confidence during the time that I was off work as well.
I'm the Head of Human Resources at Dartmoor National Park Authority. We have 95 employees at present, and I manage a small team. I manage 2 people. And I think it was quite important in a way that the Head of Human Resources had suffered this stress-related illness, because it showed that any person in any organisation at any level or with any employer can suffer this kind of thing. And it took a lot of the stigma away, I think, and it made the organisation much more aware of mental health issues and how important it is to tackle those positively.
My confidence had really slipped, and so I needed quite a lot of reassurance. And returning to work, I was given specific pieces of work to do which helped me focus and made me feel like I was achieving something at the end of each day and each week, which was really helpful. And so working with my manager, that was great and really helped.
Looking back, the response of my manager was quite remarkable, actually, because she called me in for a regular sickness interview, and for some reason I just came out with it, told her about my childhood and the issues that it was causing, and she was unsurprised. There wasn't a response. She was very calm. She sat there and listened. There was no paperwork. There was no official, this is what we're going to do next. She just listened, let me talk it through, and then eventually there was a referral to occupational health. But I think mainly I just remember her sitting there not being shocked and just listening to me, which was very useful. Though at the time it didn't seem very remarkable, now that I deliver mental health awareness training for managers, I realise that actually her response was the best it could have been.
We've, as I said, raised awareness. All of our managers and our senior management team and our staff are aware that we're a signatory. There are posters across the organisation. There are regular updates in our staff newsletters. We use the line managers resource to be able to support employees with mental health problems or signs of stress at work and so on, or in their personal lives. We are running a training programme this year using some of the courses provided by Mindful Employer, such as being mindful and being aware, which will also help embed that philosophy across the authority.
The Mindful Employer initiative has been key in making our business aware of all of the issues that some of our staff might be going through, with really positive results, whether that's through their training and support, and also in an advisory capacity to our managers and staff.
I think Mindful Employer works in 2 specific ways. Firstly, it gives us specialist training on sort of specific issues, for example, the effects of post-traumatic stress on people. Secondly, if somebody is in crisis or needs support, then it gives us somebody to turn to guide us through the procedures where we might not be entirely familiar with the best way of helping people.
When it was launched in 2004, Mindful Employer was only ever intended to be a little local initiative in Exeter. Workways, Devon Partnership NHS Trust, the Mindful Employer Advisory Group, our partnership organisations, together with hundreds of employers and many others, have made it all happen, and they have made a difference.
Kia ora. Happy birthday! My name's Marion from Platform in Wellington in New Zealand, and we're just sending you a message, Richard, and all of the people in Mindful Employer in the UK. As you're celebrating your 10th anniversary of this exciting initiative, we're just starting on our journey, and we look forward to kind of continuing to work with you and with our colleagues in Australia, and now our colleagues in Canada. So well done, and looking forward to another 10 years. Thanks.
Congratulations, Mindful Employer, on your 10-year anniversary. My name is Sarah Jenner, and along with Miriam Baton and Spencer Bain, we are currently in our first year launch of Mindful Employer Canada and Mindful Manager, and we're proud to be supporting those who support positive workplace mental health. This initiative wouldn't exist without the inspiration and motivation of Richard Frost and all those who helped launch the original Mindful Employer in the UK. We are looking forward to the globalization of supporting positive workplace mental health and the next 10 years.
It's lovely to be able to share in the 10th birthday celebrations of Mindful Employer. Here at Centre for Mental Health and in the previous organisations I've worked, we have been very grateful for the support of Mindful Employer in our recruitment and staff support. I've also recommended the resources of Mindful Employer to other organisations who want to position themselves as employers of choice with a genuine concern for well-being in the workplace. It's been great to see employers whose commitment to Mindful Employer has helped them reduce the stigma which can be attached to employees with mental health problems.
I'd like to congratulate Mindful Employer on their 10th anniversary. Most of us in the course of our lives will be affected by mental health issues, if not directly personally, then someone in our family or someone we're close to. And it's really valuable and important that employers are sensitive to people in their workforce who may have mental health problems or suffer from mental illness. They give them the necessary support they can to work effectively and to flourish, because in the end we're all better off in work doing a constructive job, particularly people who, if they don't do that, their condition might be even worse.
This is Kerry Cooper. I'm Professor of Organization Psychology and Health at Lancaster University, and would like to congratulate Mindful Employer on their 10th anniversary of all the good work they're trying to do in getting rid of mental health as a stigma in the workplace, trying to get rid of sickness absence, try to improve the well-being of people in the workplace over the coming years, and they've done that for the last decade. So congratulations for all the good work you're doing. Keep it up. This is a big problem for us. It costs us in the region of £27 billion a year, and the common mental disorders of anxiety, depression, and stress is something that really we must take seriously if we're to be a more productive country and a healthier one.
It's a fantastic brand which enables people to see at a glance that you're a great employer.